All right, let's talk about the secret enemies that are hiding out in the shadows of our minds. You know, the ones that sabotage our success before we even get started. We're going to be diving into Napoleon Hill's classic research to expose the true identities of these internal obstacles. So let's get right into it.
You ever get that feeling? Like some invisible force is just holding you back? It's like you're trying to drive with the emergency brake pulled. You've got the desire, you've got the goal, but man, something unseen is just working against you, creating resistance at every single turn. But what if that force isn't out there at all? What if it's inside?
So, Napoleon Hill spent a whopping 25 years analyzing over 25,000 people, and he spotted a pattern, a really clear one, especially among those who experience failure. And get this, it wasn't usually a lack of talent or opportunity that held them back. Nope, it was something way more sinister. An internal alliance, what he called an unholy trio of self-sabotage.
Okay, and you've got to understand how this trio works together. It's a progression, and it's absolutely crucial. It starts small, with indecision, just the simple failure to make a choice. But then, that indecision, it starts to harden, it crystallizes into doubt. And once indecision and doubt get together, well, that's when they create the real monster, fear. It's a predictable and really dangerous formula. All right, so if fear is the main villain here, it's time to see its many faces. See, Hill didn't just talk about fear as some vague, abstract idea. Oh no, he gave us a lineup, like a series of mugshots, of its 6 most common disguises. These are the true identities of those invisible enemies. And here they are, the 6 big ones: the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, ill health, the fear of loss of love, the fear of old age, and finally, the fear of death. Now, as you look at that list, I bet you recognize a few, right? Maybe a couple have paid you a visit recently. These guys, they are the master saboteurs of ambition. Look, all 6 of these are damaging, for sure, but Hill pointed out that 2 of them, just 2, are responsible for most of our worries. They do the most widespread damage to our potential. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to put those 2 right under the microscope and see exactly how they work.
Let's start with the big one. Hill says fear of poverty is a state of mind, nothing else. And think about that for a second. It's so powerful. He's saying it's not about the actual number in your bank account. It's not about your external reality. It's a state of mind, an internal condition that can totally paralyze you, whether you're rich or poor.
And this is what that state of mind looks like in the real world. Do any of these ring a bell? Indecision, can't pull the trigger on that new venture. Doubt in your own abilities. Worry, just constant nagging worry about money. Overcaution, being so careful you never actually take a real risk. And oh yeah, the big one, procrastination. See, these aren't just bad habits. Hill says they're symptoms of a much deeper fear. And the impact? It's absolutely devastating. This fear literally paralyzes your reason. It just kills your imagination, your ability to see a better future, and it completely drains away the enthusiasm you need to go after any goal. Hill was crystal clear on this. The fear of poverty is, without a doubt, the most destructive of all 6. Okay, on to the second major enemy, the fear of criticism. You know this one. It's that little voice that whispers, "What will people think?" It's what keeps us from speaking up in a meeting, from trying something bold, from just being our authentic selves. And its effects? It just robs you of initiative, crushes your imagination. And the symptoms are so familiar, right? That feeling of self-consciousness, a lack of poise, maybe even a full-blown inferiority complex. All of it makes us fail to grab opportunities that are staring us right in the face. So the big question is, where do these fears even come from? I mean, how do they get such a strong foothold in our minds? Well, Hill had a name for the mental environment where they're born, the perfect breeding ground for all this negativity. He called it the Devil's Workshop. And this is what goes on inside that workshop. He identified a 7th basic evil, and it's not a fear itself. It's something different. It's susceptibility to negative influences. Basically, it's a state of mind where your mental doors are just left wide open. You become a sponge, just absorbing all the fears, discouragement, and negative junk from other people. It's the fertile soil where those 6 fears plant their roots and grow.
So how do you fight back? Well, the defense is pretty simple to understand, but not always easy to do. You have to become the gatekeeper of your own mind. You have to consciously, deliberately, Close your mind to people and influences that depress or discourage you in any way. You're in charge of what gets in.
All right, we've identified the enemies. We've found their hideout. Now for the good part, let's talk about the counterattack. Because Hill was absolutely clear on this. We are not helpless victims here. Not at all. We possess an ultimate weapon to win this internal war.
And this quote, this is the key to the whole thing. You have absolute control over but one thing, and that is your thoughts. Just let that sink in. We can't control other people, we can't control the economy, we can't control a million other things. But we have been given absolute, total control over one thing, our own thoughts. That's our superpower. It's the command center for our entire life.
But here's the catch. This control isn't automatic. It's not something you're just born with. It's a skill. It's a muscle that you have to build through self-discipline and daily habit. And Hill says there's no compromise here. There is no middle ground. You either control your mind or it controls you, period. It's a choice you have to make every single day.
So, how do you do it? Here's the 4-step battle plan for taking control and conquering fear. Step 1, you need a definite purpose backed by a burning desire to see it happen. Step 2, you need a definite plan, and you have to put it into continuous action, no stopping. Step 3, we just talked about this one, build a wall. Close your mind tightly against all negative and discouraging influences. And step 4, find your allies. Build a friendly alliance with people who will actually encourage you and have your back.
When you boil it all down, it really comes to a choice between two states of mind, fear or faith. Look at this. They're both just a state of mind. Fear comes from indecision and doubt, and it paralyzes you. Faith, on the other hand, comes from having a definite purpose, and it inspires you to act. The most important takeaway here, you get to choose. You have the power to decide which one is going to run the show in your mind.
So let's be crystal clear about something. Every single one of these 6 basic fears, they're just ghosts. That's all they are. They're not real. They only exist in your mind. They're phantoms that only have the power you choose to give them. They are literally creations of your thought, and anything created by thought can be destroyed by thought.
And that really just leaves us with one final critical question for you. Which of these ghosts are standing in your way? Take an honest look inside. Which ones have taken up residence in your mind? And more importantly, what are you going to do to finally kick them out?